Meeting to order. It is Thursday, October 15th, 2020 at 5 p.m. Item 2 on the agenda is roll call. We'll start with line far left.
Weisner here.
Iverson here.
Johnson here.
Hogan here.
All right here.
Thank you. Amy, could we certify the posting of the meeting, please?
I certify that on Wednesday, October 14th, 2020, the amended agenda for the Town of Rome Board meeting for Thursday, October 15th, 2020 was emailed to the Wisconsin Rapids Tribune at 3:27 p.m., posted at Rome Town Hall at 3:12 p.m., at Fritzl's Trading Post at 3:57 p.m., and at Inclusive Port Edward State Bank at 4 p.m.
Thank you. We have the agenda in front of each supervisor. I'm not aware of any changes. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, now we're approving the amended agenda, clear. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, carried. If we could stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 6 is citizen comments. We have not received any requests at this meeting, so I will dispense with reading the requirements for those comments for item 6 and 6A. Moving on to no action contemplated except possible referral of future agenda. Item 7, information updates, meeting recaps, recent correspondence, current events, and announcements. Mr. Barback, we'll start with you.
I have nothing.
Thank you. Mr. Rogers.
Yesterday we had a 14-mile joint watershed committee meeting, and I just wanted to say that there are some individuals there that are working on a lot of interesting things to get grants. And one of those grants is to spur some individual projects for people to do around the lakes. So that information is going out to people. They're also doing a flyer to tell people more about what the non-keelment plant is going to be and what's involved in that. So that flyer is going to be coming out soon too. And then Jerry probably knows more about this, but there's something that's going on next month at Camelot, the 19th. I think it's Monday meeting. Okay. And I just, I'll come back to it then, because I'm going to look it up, because I got a little bit of information. I thought you might have. That's all I have.
Okay, I heard a rumor that on October 31st there might be some ghouls and goblins in the town center from 1 to 3. I'm hoping not to be recognized when I'm there, and nor would our town administrator.
I did buy a costume.
Well, so did I. We are inviting all the folks and grand folks and other people to bring the young ones in their mobiles to the town center. And apparently there'll be different stations set up, and we will be distributing high calorie, high chocolate, high sugar items to those youngsters that might be with their folks driving through the town center. So it's a shame. We've had some phenomenal Halloween parties sponsored here in the town, right here in the town community room. Certainly this year it's going to be a bit different, so we're not going to not do something. I think we're going to have a lot of fun on the 31st. So again, bring your young ones in your vehicle to the town center on the 31st, I believe, from 1 to 3. They're certainly invited to wear costumes and have fun. So that's coming up. Mr. Iverson.
Okay, yesterday visited Rome, Wisconsin, board of directors,
Gary?
I know.
Thank you. Jamie, do you have anything to report? I apologize for the phone. That controls my hearing aid. And if I turn the phone off, then I'm buzzed. I apologize for that. Moving on, item 8, department and committee reports. In addition to all the reports we received in our packet, is there anything else to report for departments and committees? Okay, hearing none. Moving on, discuss and possible action on the following items. Item 9, approval of the September 29th, 2020 and October 1st, 2020 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion and second. Any discussion, additions, corrections? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Item 10, discussion and possible action, establishing the date and time for the annual budget hearing and special town meeting. I believe the date is Thursday, November 19th, 2020 at 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to approve the annual budget hearing and special town meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Item 11, discussion and possible action, approval of ordinance number 20, approval of recommendation from the Plan Commission on comprehensive plan land use classification change from woodlands to residential and proposed zoning map amendment from FR Forest and Recreation to R1 Single Family Resident District relating to the property owned by Timberland Investment Resources LLC, described as follows: northeast 1/4 to northwest 1/4, section 23, town 20 north, lane 6E, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number 030-00885-000, a total area of 40 acres. Is there a motion on this recommendation from the Plan Commission?
Move to approve the recommendation from the planning commission. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this recommendation from the Plan Commission on this property. Is there any other additional discussion?
Just one general comment, and that is that you may recognize this area. It's a similar area to where you considered back on September 17th. I think I had mentioned at that time that in the future you'd be seeing the parcel directly to the west, and that's what this is. And so back on September 17th, that was the parcel to the east of this is to the west, and then that total area of 80 acres, I believe, is going to be what they're going to put forth the development, and that will have to follow our subdivision.
And this parcel is what, north on 13 near Akron, or north of Akron?
South of Apache.
Yeah, south of Apache.
Didn't the other parcel on item 14?
It is only as a housekeeping item. You guys have already approved that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign, motion to carry. Item 12, approval of ordinance number 20, approval of recommendation, again from the Plan Commission on the zoning map amendment from B1 Business to FR Forest and Outdoor Recreation property related to the property owned by Robert, and I apologize in advance, Krenzik, described as follows: west 1/2 of government lot 1, DX Highway ROW, section 05, town 20 north, range 6 east, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number 030-00562-0000, total area of 30.21 acres. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Court counsel has the floor.
Just a couple comments. So this is for a 30.21 acre parcel. Two things that I think are important to note that were discussed at the planning commission meeting. Number one, the comp plan. That doesn't need to be amended with this because the comp plan actually currently is showing woodlands for that parcel. So this rezone is actually more in line with what our comprehensive plan shows. Second, as it was brought up at the planning commission meeting, this is actually outside the gateway overlay corridor. That was the question that came up, and I thought it was important to point out.
Thank you. Any other comments on this motion? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Moving on for an additional item recommended by the Planning Commission. Item 13 on the agenda, approval of recommendation from the Plan Commission zoning map amendment from B1 Business to R3 Multifamily Residence District relating to the property owned by Kevin and Deborah Cole, described as follows: Lot 2 of CSM 6377, Government Lot 2, Section 20, Town 20 North, Range 5 East, Town of Bloom, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number 030-00047-0045, total area of 1.3 acres. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve the recommendation.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Clerk Counsel has the floor.
Thank you. So just a couple comments for this one. This is, again, just a rezone. The comprehensive plan is already residential, so that is in line with what the rezone requested for. The applicant is seeking, as I think you have in your packets, to develop condominiums on this parcel, as well as potentially there's an abutting 1.3 acre parcel to the north. You'll see on your map. That would come in as a future request if that was the desire of the applicant. But the other point to note is that we will still be reviewing the condominium documents, and the county has several approval points as well. So this is just the first step in the process of getting approvals for this map.
Any other discussion?
And this parcel is located along C somewhere?
It is, I believe the parcel that you're considering today is directly north of Vermont. And then you have a map that looks like this.
Yeah.
The other parcel I'm talking about is the one directly to the north.
John, do you
These are standalone individual lots. Really?
They will be as part of a condominium development.
have any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 14 is discussion and action again from the Plan Commission, ordinance number 20. Approval of recommendation from the Plan Commission on comprehensive plan land use classification change from woodlands to residential and proposed zoning map amendment from FR, which is forest and recreation, to R1 single family resident district relating to the property owned by Timberland Investment Resources LLC, described as follows: northwest 1/4 to northeast 1/4, section 23, town 20 north, range 6E, town of Rome, Adams County, Wisconsin, parcel number 030-00882-0000, total area 40 acres. Do we have a motion to move forward on this Plan Commission recommendation?
Motion to approve the recommendation of the planning commission.
Second.
We have a motion and second. Yes, sir.
Just a very quick comment that this is actually a housekeeping matter. You have already approved this on the September 17th meeting. The reason it's back is just because we didn't have the ordinance cover page, and so you're just approving it in ordinance form so we can send it on as a official map.
Any other discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Moving on, item 15. This is discussion only at this point. Review of draft language amending Town Code Chapter 142, building construction. And I would turn, again, the meeting over to Clerk Heisel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you this evening are really several items, and I'll kind of break that out first and then go over each of them individually. One of those is something that you had in your packet, that would be the Chapter 142 adjusted language. The second, I handed out this evening, and that you would have as one staple packet, but that packet itself is actually 3 options, and I'll discuss that with you in just a moment. But starting with the 142 items. So this comes after our discussion at the last meeting as an option to amend our building code in order to cover certain accessory structures. So what we did with the language that you have before you is 2 different things. First, under 142-6, you'll see that there's a section for exceptions. Those are exceptions for requiring a building permit. And that exception is structures used exclusively for hunting purposes. So those would not be subject to a building permit. And then on the last page, under construction of accessory buildings, so that's 142-10. As it was worded before, the accessory buildings that were 150 square feet or less in size were exempt from the construction requirements of the UDC. What we're doing with this language is saying that if it's designated for human habitation or occupancy, then it needs to comply with UDC requirements. So we are still reviewing this internally, and the reason we're reviewing it internally is just to make sure that the language that we have here doesn't conflict or have unintended consequences with some of the sheds that people have. Within the language that we're looking into is actually that last section, the human habitation or occupancy. The idea that if somebody has a shed that they put off of the deck and have, they're not living in it, but they're having, people maybe living out of it, would that fall under UDC requirements? Because a lot of those prefab sheds probably don't fit UDC requirements. And so this is still being reviewed and a recommendation will be brought to you, anticipating that the recommendation on this will come at the same time that a final recommendation would likely come on the zoning amendments as well. And so that's my segue into the other package you have. You have 3 options there. We reviewed really 2 of these options at the last meeting, and I provided you all of those, and I have received some feedback from you. And I also received feedback from the Planning Commission as they considered it at their October 15th meeting. The feedback that I received led to what is now termed option 3. So that it isn't a brand new set of language. What it's actually doing, I kind of termed it, for lack of a better word, a hybrid option. What it's doing is actually pulling option 2 and 1, pretty much all of the language in option 2, which is the Lake District specific option, along with some of the option 1 language. And the option 1 language that was carried over is the language that relates to Plan Commission review and a permit requirement that triggers where there's play structures that are higher at any point than 10 feet. So there's an absolute restriction above 15 feet. But if somebody were to want to put a play structure in LB that is above 10 feet, it would require Plan Commission review with this option. It would require a zoning permit. And the Plan Commission review would be accompanied with a public hearing and notifications to the other property owners. And so, again, this is taking a lot of the language that existed as option 2, the Lake District specific, but it pulls in some of that Plan Commission oversight, some of the public hearing requirements for play structures that exceed a certain height at any point. And so once it gets past 10 feet, the neighboring property owners would have the opportunity to provide input. And there could be, as you see on the bottom of, at the end of the 7B on option 3, there's the opportunity to consider screening, layout modification, impact on neighboring properties. And so there's calculus that can go into it when it gets above a certain point. And so this is, it was the request of the planning commission that I draft out the three for this meeting, so I can provide that to you, and have you give any feedback that you have. Just know that there hasn't been any determination by the planning commission. They're going to review all three of these options at their next meeting, and I'll bring any recommendations or feedback they have in a report to you after that.
Yeah, Nick, I like option 3. I would suggest, though, that paragraph 5B be amended to say that any accessory building, and then add including play structures, be constructed of similar materials and have the overall appearance consistent with that of the dwelling.
Okay, so you're saying similar language to the accessory building section that currently exists in our ordinance. Because under 5B, we have that they would be constructed of similar material and have an overall appearance consistent with that.
Yeah.
And you're asking that language be included as well with play structures.
Yeah, just add including play structures.
Okay.
You might even say in excess of 10 feet. Because some of these play structures are prefab things, right? They're small.
They are. And if I'm going to do that, I'll probably just pull that language, similar language, down in 7E
Okay.
and just put that as a added section. If we're just talking those that are higher than 10 feet, that whole section relates to play structures that are higher than 10 feet. So it makes sense to put that there.
Any other discussion or thoughts on this item?
I think it makes sense. I know it's easy to put that including play structures up with that E, but I think we should just do that whole sentence down there, just because if you're looking for play structures, you'll go to that
That's
section,
fine.
just so it's not missed.
Again, thank you for all the feedback that I received since your last meeting. And then just to note that if you do have more, just send me the feedback and I'll report that to the planning commission.
Okay, moving on to item 16. Discussion and possible action, continuing discussion. Approving the Wisconsin Public Employees Group Health Insurance High Deductible Health Plan, HMO, Standard D, HB, HP, PPO without dental, Delta Dental of Wisconsin, local employer supplemental opt-in dental and vision insurance and health savings account, HSA contribution for 2021. And we started a discussion on this, so before we have a motion and second, I would ask for any additional comments from our town administrator.
We did include a memo in the packet that just outlined, if it was approved tonight, that the motion would include that we would continue the 85-15 split, that it would be 100% of the premium for the preventive dental and vision benefit, and then that additional contribution would go to HSA, just so we have it in motion, that all of those items would be part of the benefit package. And I would add also then that the 40% for part-time, because that would be new to us with this change in insurance.
Would somebody like to make that motion?
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion and second, and that would include, again, maintaining the 85-15 split for health insurance for full-time employees, 100% dental and vision, and then 40% for part-time. Any additional discussion other than
So the town is opting in for the dental and the vision, not the employee?
The town, which we do now.
this is, as we discussed, and I've actually been experiencing for several years, the cost of health insurance is just going through the ceiling to the point where I've seen employees where they would cost more, they would cost more money for the benefit than what they made as a salary, which is absolutely mind-boggling and to the point ridiculous. So I want to compliment our other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carried. Item 17, discussion of possible action, amending the investment policy and the town of Rome's financial policies and procedures manual. You all have copies of that in your packet. We have a motion to approve the recommended changes in these policies in the manual.
I move to approve the amended investment policy. Second, Tom Fanning.
Jamie, is there something you wanted to add?
I was just gonna add that approving it into the manual, I did include some additional supplemental information from Ellers too in the packet. But once it's part of the manual, what we will do at our next meeting is bring back this resolution that just establishes our ability then to work with Ellers on those financial documents. So tonight, we just wanted to, after our conversation at our last budget meeting, make sure that you were comfortable with the investment policy. You'll see this one more time for that final resolution to be adopted.
This doesn't mean that we're going to hire Ellers as a financial consultant.
Essentially, it means that Ellers helps us manage our finances, yes. I don't know that you would consider them a financial consultant, but like.
Fee-based, right?
It's, yes, and the fee structure is part of that,
Yes, I saw that.
yeah. So they're essentially an extension, as Tammy put it, an extension of staff to facilitate investment of funds.
We've had an ongoing discussion on this. Any other discussion, questions? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Item 18, discussion of possible action. Approval of recommendation from the Alcohol Beverage License Review Committee on application for Class B beer and Class C wine licenses for the period of October 15th, 2020 to June 30th, 2021. FTB&G Incorporated, also known as Fire Trucks Pub and Grill, 382 State Highway 13 in Coosa, Wisconsin. I would ask for a motion and second so we can discuss.
You don't need one. The
No.
applicant has withdrawn this application, so you don't need to act on
That
it.
I've withdrawn the application.
Yes.
Thank you. We're done with item 18. Moving on to item 19. Discussion and possible action. Approval of appointment Melissa Rhodes to the Parks and Rec Committee for the remainder of unexpired term until May 1st, 2023. I would note before making the motion that Supervisor Bauer, Height, and myself did interview this individual in agreement that she would make a nice addition to the Park and Rec Committee. Is there a motion?
So, I'll second it.
Motion second, any discussion? All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Congratulations, Melissa, we're looking forward to your work on that committee. Item 20, the board may go into closed session pursuant to Wisconsin statute section 19.85, subsection 1, subsection C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically town administrator 12-month evaluation. And before I would call for the motion, I would suggest that we would invite our administrator, the court counsel in initially, and then we would have a discussion without the administrator present before going back into the open session. Is there a motion to this effect?
Move to go to closed session according to Wisconsin statutes.
I have a second.
Second.
Discussion? This does take a roll call vote. Jerry?
Yes.
Jerry?
Yes.
Wayne, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we have unanimous roll call vote. We are now officially in closed session. I believe we will leave the camera rolling until we would come
Have a good evening.
You too. Take care.
Show them almost consistent, so I think she's giving it to me, I'm gonna pick it up.
Thank you.
had a copper thing that you see red fur advertised for the back.
Yeah.
I wore that for a couple, 2 days after that. It was just a nice transition. It's only like, it's only like 19 bucks. It's not very expensive.
They're not portable, this place since you've been in there, so.
I don't know, you know, who that it works or not, but I have one of those covers for my arm to listen to through the page. I'm not sure. I don't know if it works.
I don't think there's anything with the copper thing, but just the compression. I think helps.
Yeah, that, keep in mind, it is compressed.
Okay, I would entertain a motion to return to open session as authorized by Wisconsin State Statute 19.85 subsection 2, to possibly take action from closed session and continue with the agenda. Do I have a motion to return to open session?
So moved.
Second?
Motion and second, any discussion? I would call for a roll call vote, and we'll start with Mr. Bowden.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we're now officially legally back into open session. Would direct the administrator to work on some hazard pay, which I understand we get reimbursed from the state for poll workers and associated people to recognize their work in these very, very difficult times. And that we will continue at our next regular meeting on November 5th, back in full session to continue the discussion that we started this evening. Other than that, there's no formal action to take place after closed session at this time. We anticipate that after the next meeting. Moving on to dates and items for future agenda meetings. Other than what I just mentioned, does any supervisor have anything other than regular business to add to the agenda? Yes, sir.
Yes, the treehouse issue on Alston Court is due to be completed on the 30th or 31st of October. And I guess that I just have an updated report on that. I understand that they have provided the building inspector with an engineering plan to make improvements. So hopefully they can get those improvements done if they're going to do them by the end of October, because I'm not looking forward to an extension.
Anything else other than all the business?
You were copied on the email from the
I did,
building
yeah.
inspector, okay, but just making sure.
Just as a reminder, November 11th is Veterans Day. And this year, we are not going to have a sit-down meal because of the COVID. We can't have people in here because of health concerns. But the Legion is having a ceremony out at Spring, or at the cemetery out there at 11 o'clock, to let people know. And for the agenda next time, maybe we could have something on there just to, as a board to recognize Veterans Day.
That's great, yeah.
11. Anything else on the next agenda? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 23. The next meeting is scheduled for November 5th at 5 p.m. here in this room. 5 o'clock, November 5th, 2020. Do we have any other business this evening? Hearing none, we are now